All right. With me today on the Exit Your Way Business Roundtable, I've got Andrew Cross, partner in crime. We're talking a little bit today, doing a recap on our Business Roundtable event we had earlier today. How's it going this afternoon, Andrew?
Doing good. Thank you.
All right. All right. Well, we had a good roundtable this morning.
Let's be proper grammar. Doing well.
Doing well.
Okay. Salvation Army does good. We do well.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. So today on the Business Roundtable, we had a good panel. I think we had, I thought they did great. We had Ben Baker from Your Brand Marketing. We had Kelly Robinson from Ponano's Recruiting. And then we had Lisa Sordelia, excuse me. I say that wrong almost every time.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, that's good. I need that. From Energage, which is an HR company that helps recruit and retain high quality talent. And man, it was a good roundtable. We talked about building your dream team. You know, when you look at the end of 2019, we had 5-point-something million, 6 million rough, I think it was, people unemployed. Now we got over 20. This is a time that businesses need to be looking and trying to find. Well, this is not nice, is it? That's why it's live. And so this is a time that really should be recruiting and finding the best talent. So we talked a little bit about that, and it was pretty interesting. So what did you really get from it, Andrew, that was that you took away from it today?
Yeah, great takeaways from people who are, experts in identifying and capturing talent for companies. Huge opportunity. And, it's something we want to talk about kind of to share with folks on both sides of the equations, of those looking for the place to go and for folks who are looking to acquire talent. And because we're doing it too. I mean, we're right in the mix. Exit Your Way, we are a team of partners, and that's what we provide to clients, is to aggregate this talent and bring it to bear for the client on the exit. And so, we spend a significant amount of time, looking for people who can get things done in companies and can move the needle. Those are the people we want to work with, and it's been hard. So it's exciting right now, not for them, but there really is plenty of work out there. And especially for folks with those unique talents. So great conversation around today. Got some excellent takeaways. It was terrific.
Yeah, I think
we're going to use in our own business. So
it helps a lot. I mean, the one thing that I thought was interesting is to hear all three of them talk about the need for businesses to communicate their story to get the best talent. Because,
absolutely.
Go ahead. Excuse me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, but continue.
Because you think about it, and the best people are going to only want to work in the places that are the good places to work, right? So they're going to look at it, and that's what I think was driven home by all of them multiple times, is that you can say you got great benefits, you can say you got this or that, but really people want to work in places, and I forget, I've got a lot of notes here from it, but they were talking about community, and they were talking about your core values and different things like that to make sure that they're engaged. The employee engagement was high.
Yeah.
That was really, really something that, quite honestly, people running the businesses that are our age or older, we just never thought about that.
Yeah, you don't think about it, and it is something that we run across. A lot of companies don't think about it until it's time to sell the company.
Yeah,
and then they start to think about it because the buyers are going to be looking at it and going, "What's the culture like? Is this a company?" Because they're going to be working in the company or on the company, and they want to know, just like anything else. But I think I like, because I've worked with startup companies who are hungry to get people and talent to it, and don't really have the resources that big companies have to spend on it. And I like the way they approach it. It's like they have to not only sell their product and also pitch their company to investors, they have to pitch it to the people who are going to come work for them, which seems kind of strange, right? The people should be asking you to work for them. But you really need to show them, to really get good talent, you need to show them why they want to come and work for you beyond just the title that they're going to get and the paycheck.
That, when you go into one word, that is it. Why should I come to work there? And I got my notes now. They were talking about, charities, community engagement, organizations you support. I mean, there's a lot of stuff there that really resonates with employees that used to somewhat, but I think it's gotten more important as time has gone on.
I think it is. And I do think people, good companies recognize that. Good entrepreneurs recognize you can't do it alone.
Yeah.
And you, and you're not going to be, you need those people if you're going to have longevity or, legacy and continue to have a company that's sustainable through multiple generations. And those are high, lofty goals. But with culture, if you're interviewing somebody and you say, this is the job, this is how much it pays, this is what your title is, and they say, yes, I want the job, you don't want that person.
Yeah, that's true. That came up as well. It's like, the being picky about not being picky about what you want, and hiring for a position or hiring for talent. There was a lot of good discussions that came out of that today as well.
Yeah, I always found it interesting. We work with small, lower middle market companies. They're not necessarily small, but these are not multinationals. They're generally, we work with, they're privately held. They have 30 to 50 employees. Those are the kind of companies we work with. And, one of the ways for them to grab, good people, and we've had to do it because we've worked with companies in towns that suck up all the talent, Amazon and, Boeing, for example, with the engineers, in Seattle, it's really hard to hire because when the big guys call them, it's hard to compete. But what differentiates you, if you have, that can make you better as a small company that the big companies just can't do is, culture, kind of family. You got, personal relationships that are authentic, that really do, does happen. And, the opportunity for, advancing, not advancing necessarily up a ladder, but advancing by learning, as they progress. And if you can, the small companies can do that. That's what makes them great. That's why I like working with small companies and stuff like that too, for the same reason. So
it's like they talked about that today too. And I think the other thing that was happening today too is the chat was just like going nuts, man. We had a lot of people just like, it was going so fast you couldn't even read it. The topics that we were going, they were bringing up, it's people are very interested. It's really, and it's time, at this point too. And I think working from home, working remotely now, and everybody's having a shift and kind of change and really think differently about how they manage employees and how you work together. And the working remotely stuff is I think it's, taking employers and entrepreneurs take a step back and really go, hey, this stuff really is important. Now, they know it before, but you're doing so many other things and they go by so fast, and then you go, what happened when, you had your top 3 people quit over 6 months, and then you have to go back and reassess. This is kind of making them look at it and really understanding, how critical it is, but and maybe flipping that paradigm too. It isn't just about keeping employees. It's about actually attracting employees and growing more from there, because the more you can get, the stronger you're going to get. And one of the things that came up that that was interesting is using surveys, using anonymous surveys to really figure out what your employees are thinking, and then using that feedback, and then taking that feedback and going back to the employees with, this is what we heard, this is what we're going to be doing because of what we heard.
Active listening.
Exactly.
I agree. And those are great. But a survey isn't any good. You've been on the other side of it. You've been in an employee and you've done a survey, it's like they're just taking statistics. They aren't listening to what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
A good survey is, it's not just the comment box or the feedback box that you put your thing in, and that's it. You never hear about it again. Yes, active listening is kind of at the very least, at least going back and repeating what the person said to them, to get complete understanding. It's great disciplines, and you always are surprised what you learn and what you gain by, keeping an open mind and listening to that kind of stuff. The best ideas come from the troops.
Yeah, Lisa talked about about using surveys extensively. She made it sound like they use a lot of them with their clients and their employees to make sure that they're feeling understand what's really happening.
Yeah, it's a big trend.
The other thing that came up too, and I think it was from the comments, was Glassdoor. And I don't know how long, hell, this shows how much I pay attention to something like that, but I don't know how long Glassdoor's been around. But
we've applied for jobs.
Yeah, I guess that's just it.
It'll be a while before we do that again too.
Yeah, hopefully. Long time.
Like never.
Yeah, exactly. That's how long it should be. Not a good employee anymore. No fucking way. Oh, excuse me. But the Glassdoor thing, right? So I was talking to a client last year, and I don't even remember which one it was. But we were talking about Glassdoor, and they're like, "What's Glassdoor?" Mm-hmm. And it was like, well, you've got several bad reviews on Glassdoor, and at that time it was I think it was Jeff Graham had pointed it out to me, and then of course me, I was like, Glassdoor, who cares about that? So no, this is very important, and I was like, then they brought it up again today, so that's interesting. But I think the nice thing that they covered today was the fact that you got to be hitting those things head on. Yeah. And I don't know if it was Lisa or Kelly were talking about it, but it was like, okay, in an interview or in your conversations with a potential employee, they were saying address it straight on, because that person is the best people have looked at Glassdoor.
Yeah.
You got some bad things and it was about a bad person or a bad situation, and you made the changes, you need to go right in and talk about that.
Yeah, you got a Yelp review, a bad Yelp review.
There you go. That's the same thing.
Yeah, it is the same thing, and it's not an issue if it's the first thing you talk about when you meet up with somebody. Yep, we're going to get that out on the table, and just like anything else, right? Every restaurant has bad reviews, on it. Yeah, and some of you can't please everybody, and everybody understands that. Data, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I think if you're upfront about those kind of things, and they were great, they gave some great tips on how to address that kind of thing too. But it's the day, value the employees. The day has changed. You've got to compete hard to get the talent to come to your company. You're already doing all the right things anyways as a company. Shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. And some of that could be hangover from last year yet, but because I think it has to have gotten a little bit easier, but you won't ever get away from that. Mm-hmm. You have to have the right culture, the right everything to keep people longer term, and that's to retain. The retention is really the engagement and the other things. And it's interesting though how they were talking about how the careers page now, as they were talking, it really seemed to be more like a social media page almost, where you're telling about the organizations and the events that you do, and not necessarily, and this was one thing that was interesting, they're like not the perky type events like the 3 o'clock in the afternoon beer things. They were talking about like, we support this charitable organization by giving our employees time to it or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that during the thing, and I took a note there that we need to update our company page too on LinkedIn, on the website as well. But it needs to show your company, the culture, right? Yeah. And just hey, here, here's the application button, here's the open positions. What am I getting into here, right? Again, it's pitching your business whether you got a product or service, your ideals of what you're doing, and you do that to your customers. You're always out there doing that to prospective customers and your customers. You're doing that to your investors. If you're going to do that, you're going to do that to the banks if you need to do that, so that they'll get in, lend you money. But you forget to do it with your employees, and then if it's done right, what results in is employees then really are bought in, 100%, and then, they become salespeople for you and your company, and they represent, right? So, that just
that too. That was one of his first things. He was like, if you get all your employees bought in, they're your best advocates.
So you need to take the time to pitch them just like you would to an investor.
Yeah.
And because they're not writing a check to you, but they are, they're going to give you something in return for that too. So, it's good.
Yeah, it was.
Really good.
Yeah, it was just pretty cool stuff. I mean, I was happy and really, I mean, every week we have our panels have really done an excellent job. I mean, I always say, I'm just like
Thursday morning, 8:00 Pacific Standard Time.
It is Thursday.
Damon. It is on our exityourway.us website. So if you want to sign up, and it's really good. Every week I've come away with 2 or 3 golden nuggets that we've already put into play in our business, which is great.
Yep, that's cool. It's been a good time, that's for sure. What else this week has been interesting for you?
Oh, well, still working from home.
Yeah.
Looking forward to getting out.
Yeah.
But enjoying you're getting a lot of work done. So that's, that's different.
Well, it is in the fact that what else are you going to do? And some
yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
But, I think there's just a couple things that this week already that was, as we talked here earlier today, our business has changed so much in the last 4 months, and we were virtual already.
Right.
We're 100% virtual already. And look at how much video we're doing. We're doing this live stream today. We're doing more of this to talk more about our, how we could help businesses and sharing other people's knowledge with people that could benefit. And then, just the outreach and the other things that have changed and trying to help people. It's really been a good thing for us.
Yeah. I guess, and I'd like everybody to know too. I mean, it seems kind of strange that, during a pullback like this, that, as far as activity goes for the opportunity to sell a company or sell your business, the buyers are out there hard, looking more aggressively than ever, and more of them. And from what I see,
I mean, how many in the inbox are we getting every day now?
Yeah. I mean, don't make assumptions that, this isn't a good time to sell my business. It's not the case.
Well, and then the people are using SBA funds now. The SBA 7A loan has 6 months of principal and interest payments.
If you strike a loan down before, within this next 6 months.
Something like that. So man, if people are considering it, I read that, I don't know, last week, and I was like, someone had said this is the opportunity of a lifetime, because you get a $5 million SBA loan and 6 months of payments on that. That's some money.
Yeah, it's $500,000. Anyways, all of my banker friends who do SBA loans out there, and anybody else who has an SBA loan, I think you should check with your lender too, because you can refinance now and get months deferred. I'm not 100% sure about that, but if I was reading that correctly, there's an opportunity for this. So if you're already carrying a note, on an SBA loan, get on the phone, call your banker.
Point. That's a good point, because that would be that could be a lot of money to somebody.
Yep.
So yeah, it is interesting though how the activity for people looking for businesses has actually gone up. And
well, that was my concern, because we're always trying to talk to the business owners. Hey, are you thinking about selling, or that was kind of the initial my response when all this was going on right now. Oh, we're going into a recession. Nobody's going to buy a business, and it's actually the opposite. People are looking to for even if your company is declining, nobody's seeing that as a long-term thing in this economy. That the fundamentals are still there, and anybody buying a business, investors or individuals, their view on the world is for the next 10 years, not what's going to be happening in the next year. And you just adjust, what you're doing. It's not even affected pricing. In fact, I think it's probably more competitive now on the buy side, as far as bidding goes. So, good. If you're thinking about getting out of your business or wanting to sell in the next 5 years, it's a good time to. You should get started on it now.
The thing that I've been really surprised about is how many people are jumping in and going, oh, we buy distressed assets too. And they're serious. I mean, they're buying a lot of them that, and that's too bad, because people are giving up a lot of money when they do that, because they are opportunistic buyers, and they're taking cleaners. But man, there's a lot of money floating around for that now too.
Well, we have a client that just he got out, and it was distressed just recently too, and we worked with them to help do that. And he rolled back in with the buyer of the company, refinanced it and resold it. And actually made a little bit more money, and is now into another business. And life is good, so sometimes that's the smart play in that situation. So, and especially in where we're at today, because there's a bunch of people who are in the bad spot. Some people are doing really, really well because of COVID, and some people are obviously struggling. And, we talked about that at the roundtable as well, about being able to pivot. Well, taking what you can get and rolling that into something else is pivoting. So
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just in our small slice of clients, we got some that are just absolutely, going to double revenues this year. And we got some that are going to be down 40-50%.
Yeah. And it doesn't seem like there's a lot in between, steady eddies, but it's a period of extremes.
Yeah. That's a good way to say it. That's a good way to say it. I think we are. So. Well, good stuff. Well, hey, anybody out there listening, you know where to get a hold of us. We'll put the comments in how to get us through Facebook, LinkedIn, all that good stuff. We will be again next Thursday, 8 a.m.
Shooting the shoot.
Yeah, we're gonna have the Remo platform works out good. You're gonna be able to sit down on the table with 5 or 6 people virtually and talk to them and bounce around the tables and see the presentation and then get back off again. So
and great people coming to that. So if you want to meet some cool folks from all over the world now.
That's kind of weird, isn't it? Because
it is kind of weird. It's been great. People checking in from everywhere. So really cool.
Good stuff. All right, Andrew, good catching up today. We'll keep it going, and we'll be back on again with our live stream Tuesday afternoon, and Tuesday afternoon at 3:00 Pacific. We do this Tuesday and Thursday at 3:00 Pacific, so we can just kind of shoot shit about whatever we want. So it's our time. Thanks. We'll talk to you.
See ya.
Bye.